The all-new Volvo S90, Volvo's new attack on the upper mid-size sedan class, and also the Estate, the V90. Both are right now here on the first hands-on live preview on Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. We're starting here with a sedan version in this polar white color. It has also the Source Hammer LED headlights, which we've always seen from the XC90, and this new Volvo front, a pretty massive one with a glossy front grille, and it really looks very beautiful, also with a sporty accentuation right in the lower part. Really nice. And you see, I'm sitting down here, kneeling down, because the car is really flat. It's flatter than before from the Volvos we know, and also a little bit longer and broader. 4 meters and 96 is the total length of the car, and this is, by the way, the T8, the top version, the plug-in hybrid, as just from the petrol side there will just be 4 cylinders in there, as we also know from XC90, and the T8, the top version, then has a system power of about 400 horsepower combined with the electric drive. And well, I would really love to have this wallbox here at home. It looks maybe even more fancier than the car. That's possible to have the plug-in drive, and it's kind of the same as the Volvo XC90, and depending on how you really push the throttle, you could have a fully electric drive with about 40 kilometers. That could be realistic. So the question is really, can you have a very easy loading process at home or at work? Then it makes sense, or if you get tax benefits from the government. There we can also see the side profile. I ask if we can close the door for a second. Excuse me, can we close the door for a second? Excuse me? Can we close the door for a second? That we can see the car in its full glory. Thank you. Because the special thing about the sedan is, of course, that we got a very nice shape around here. The dropping line is above the door handles. I usually prefer it when it's on the height of the door. But what is really remarkable, the side mirror is not attached in a triangle, but more in that sporty coupe and convertible style at the side of the doors. And that makes the car appear even a little bit sportier and flatter. The car has received very good ratings from you guys. 20-inch alloys here, by the way. There's just one point where a lot of guys were not that satisfied, and that is the rear of the car, because we have a very unique design of the taillights you have to get used to. And from the photos and preview videos we've shown you, I also was very skeptical, but seeing it now here in live, it's, I think, something different, because it kind of catches the rear of the car a little bit, and it has a special appearance. And I mean, I also like it when the cars show something new, because nowadays so many cars look so much alike. It's always, a little bit refreshing to have something really new from it. So overall, the design is really a very beautiful car, and I think among with the Jaguar XF, probably the most beautiful one in the upper mid-size sedan class. So this is not supposed to be the upper class with S-Class and BMW 7 Series. It's more again the E-Class, Jaguar XF, BMW 5 Series, and the Audi A6. This trunk, of course, for sedans limited, but as the car is very long, it goes over way in there. I don't see any flipping system. This might be just an emergency strip here, but other than that, I don't see any flipping system yet for the seats. There's a 12-volt power supply here, however, and you can also close it electronically if it would be powered, but obviously it's not yet, but there will be, of course, an electronic head available. No, it's not on right now. It's always like pre-production models here on the car. Soft close, by the way, for the trunk. And even more important is, of course, the interior, because this has also been inspired by the all-new XC90. And we'll start here with the rear. Just have a first look right here. Of course, on the motor shows, they always show the top trim levels. This one here can be attached right up here to have a sunshade. There it is. And we know this kind of color and surface from the all-new XC90. But there will also be, of course, basis version available where you don't have to pick leather. Let me check out the rear. And well, you don't have the most space here. Passenger-wise, is way better than the XC90, because here you don't have an upright seating position. It's more that you fall back down a little bit, and also the seating area is quite short. So also from the headroom, it's also not that much. I would not recommend it as a chauffeur car because that's not too much space here. And well, you could of course go a little bit more in the front with the seat here. Knee space is totally okay. That's fine. You know, I'm 1.86 meters in height. But overall, it's not the ideal chauffeur car here. I would expect a little bit more space here in the rear. That is, I think, better in other classes, in other cars in the segment. Bowers & Wilkins top sound system, that one is really beautiful. You know, shown you in the XC90 review recently, I like when you have this concert hall effect. We also have this checkered aluminum structure that looks really much high class. And what you can also see from here is that we have this crystal gear lever stick in the middle part. I'll also soon take a seat in the driving position. This one is only available, and again, in the T8 version. Overall, it resembles a little bit the XC90 design because that defines how the brand will be evolving, and Volvo is starting to renew all its models from top to bottom. So now, first the big SUV, now the big sedan. After that one, they will renew the smaller ones, the mid-size and compact ones. So really it goes from top to bottom, and all of the sedan and SUVs on all order of the classes each. Let's see if we go to the driver's seat. We move around the car and hope that it will be free then quite soon. So there it is. Really a lot of interest here in this. Also, it's the inscription version, the top trim level, and one of the very famous cars definitely on the motor show. But even the estate, of course, as it's a little bit newer, has even more interested people in that one. So that's the cockpit now with the steering wheel, and the steering wheel is one of the things I like least with the new Volvo design overall. It's very classy, but the steering wheel is the one part that looks to me just a little bit clumsy. Seating position, it's really relatively low. I'm really looking forward to drive the car if it also makes the sporty driving as it makes the sporty impression. As you have this seating layout here, you feel a little bit, you know, caged in. So again, this repeating the scheme from the rear. The car looks so cool from the outside, but I don't feel that it would be like offering so much space on the interior. I've also tested the all-new E-Class here from Mercedes, and you can check out that review as well. They had a more spacious feeling on the interior, definitely. When I'm looking towards this totally digital instruments in front of me, what do you have to know about that one? If you pick those optional autonomous driving packages, here the pilot assist is then, you know, taking a step further, and that means that it will also work until a speed of 130 kilometers. The pilot assist. So far it's about 30 or 40 kilometers. Not really a good use for that one. And here Volvo takes a step further, and you know, Volvo is also giving us an outlook for the future that when they have the car that is driving totally autonomously, they say we take responsibility for the accident that are happening. So they give for the first manufacturer an answer to this legal question. The infotainment screen is also interesting. Maybe we can get here with the camera. You know, it's not that present like in the XC90, but it's basically the same system. You can zoom in and out like on the smartphone. This is Lac Léman, or the lake here in Geneva, or Genfer See in German. And you control most of the stuff by touch. If you scroll that one down, you can go to the settings, pick everything. The temperature is controlled right here. Well, if it would be on, there it is. Let's see. There it is. You can either always touch or scroll. That is possible. In this demo mode, but usually you touch here and then can scroll or touch as well. You can check that one out also in our XC90 videos. And as I said earlier, those crystal gear shifting lever, which is not completely out of glass because that wouldn't be allowed from the safety regulations. So they have to have this aluminum stuff around it to meet those situations. So really impressive interior. As for the styling, that's the plus. Incredible exterior, definitely. I love that exterior design. But I'm a little bit disappointed for the space that is offered. That is my first impression here. Maybe it is different if you don't have those inscription seats because they have like waves everywhere around and it's really thick leather, maybe it's better with the standard seats. Maybe they offer you a little bit better feeling of, you know, a spacious surrounding. And there's also one more possibility to enlarge the space with the Volvo, let's call it Volvo 90, because if you not go for the S90, but for the V90, the station wagon, and we're going to take a look at that one right now. And there it is, the V90, the estate version, or Kombi as we say in Germany. In Germany, this one will be the crucial version because cars in this class are most often bought as Kombi or estate or station wagons in Germany. In China and the US, for sure it will rather be the sedan. And the question is, well, in the front it's of course basically the same. The question is more, do you like the side profile and do you like the rear of the car? And we move on to the side profile, and I hope we can close the door very soon and then you have to get a better impression. But of course we again have to share the car with a lot of other camera stuff. 20-inch for the alloys here, for the rims as well again. And see the dropping line is still again the same. It's just that the roof is not falling down here, so they have kept it relatively stable to ensure, you know, as much space as possible. And what is remarkable, that the rear hatch is opening very, very wide. See, I'm with 1.86 m. I can easily stand below it. That's really high, and higher than I have imagined from other segments in this class. Here you lose a little bit of the space, that you have a nice design line. I like it also here in the bright cloth interior. That looks very good. The setup here in the rear is same as from the XC90. Of course, they share the same platform. No replacement tire below here, so you have a little bit more of the space. And this is a good solution. It's kept up here without me holding it. That's also nice. And you see, here we can also flip the seats. I don't see any flipping mechanism from the rear part. However, you can do it, as we can see here, right from the passenger compartment. And then we have a loading area which is kind of flat. And you see that really works also from the how broad it is, low loading sill. So that is really a very practical solution here, definitely. Makes a good impression space-wise, and I'm looking forward to how it looks close then. Another picture right here. See if this electric tailgate is working here now. That's it from the rear, and you see the scheme is a little bit repeated. That the rear lights, they catch the rear a little bit, but here we got this kind of SUV. It more looks like an XC90 because the taillights are going from up to bottom, and that is really more the SUV kind of look. This is not the T8 version, by the way, it's a T6. So the petrol engine without the electric drive. And let's test the electric hatch again. Maybe if the sensor, that one upright's not really sensitive. Let's see how it goes below there. If it's sensitive already in this show car, yeah, it's could be even a little bit more sensitive, but I would say it looks still okay, definitely. So I think for an estate, also very beautiful design here in the rear. Some might even say they like the estate version more than the sedan. That's also a very interesting thought. We also have the car in a different color we'll take a look at, and of course the interior test, especially the rear compartment, will be very interesting to test what, for example, has done with the headroom. So it seems to be the kind of the same interior seat-wise, but what is very remarkable here, this is here my favorite inlet design. This is the matte wood. It just feels so natural and very well. And it's also true wood, of course. And this one here is also a great contrast to the bright interior. However, this one should be made in from leatherette or cloth. So there's no space here right now. Maybe we move on to the other car first. Then you can see the different color, the dark brown. I'm not really a fan of brown cars, are you? But so you can already see a little bit of a color variation with this very car. And we also have the whole side profile line here now. And I think they have also mastered that one quite well. And let's see when we can close the hatch here, which is done obviously right now. Now there it is. Now you got the complete line from the side profile to the rear. And again, I think the Volvo designers did a very beautiful job here. See the small rear wing is also giving a little bit more of a saturation to the design here. So overall, a very likable estate from the design, definitely, although I am generally more a fan of saloons. And now I can also test the rear compartment. It's queuing up here at the motor show. So especially the V90, really a lot of interest taken. And I mean, last year it was the XC90, which is one of the top cars, also view-wise at Autogefühl. Maybe it will be this year that the S and the V90 will be one of the most popular cars, and we're driving this car here in the full driving view around summer 2016. If you watch this video then later on, you can also search for that, or it will also be linked in the video description. So, and of course, you need to see the interior here as well and have the test, and I'll just ask for it. Hello, could we switch for a second, maybe? So sometimes you always just have to ask quite gently, and then it works here as well. So I'll take a seat right here. Of course, I have a lot of knee space in this case here because there's not someone tall sitting in front of me, but it's more about the headroom here. This kind of headroom remains, but we have the panoramic roof in here. So we have more headroom in the rear again, because it's the estate, but then again, due to the panoramic roof, the headroom is decreased then again. But overall, well, as the seat is more in the front, of course you get a rather little bit more of a spacious feeling in the estate here. Maybe it's also really about the seats. The seats are really sink into them, and maybe that's also the reason why you feel that way. I do feel here. Here another look at the interior. I like the contrast styling of the steering wheel when you have the black on the outside and the bright on the interior. This is really a very nice styling, and too bad it's not really available for the standard equipment, and that's what I have to improve for the future. Again, as we've seen also in XC90, the wood parts here on this very interior to slide, and the sliding functions also work very well. This is here to turn up the volume, also in this crystal look. So I think we have gotten a very good impression of the S90 and the V90. Please tell me what's your favorite sedan or estate. I'll take a last testing here. There it is. Go back again. I definitely sit better in the XC90, as I also prefer the upright seating position. But of course, the more thing I'm looking forward to is driving the one, because it's a new platform. It's sitting way lower than the XC90. What will it deliver us in the driving agility? And of course, the pilot assist, because Volvo really says we want to push forward the autonomous drive, and we want to have less people killed on the road. And besides of this autonomous drive, which you get optional, one of the very best things Volvo is offering is that all of the basic safety systems, like for example the autonomous emergency brake, you always get from the standard equipment. And that's one of the most important things to head for right now. Thank you very much for joining me for this preview here. I hope you liked it. And I want to hear your comments on that car here, on the different versions and the colors we've shown you. Thanks. Thomas here with Autogefühl. And see you at the next Geneva episode.